I'm going to start with you. We've seen dramatic races in each of the last 2 years here in Baku. Just how much do you as a driver enjoy the challenge of racing here?
Yeah, I think it's an exciting race. As you said, lots of action, lots of safety cars and stuff like that in previous years. So we'll see if this year everyone is trying to go conservative and maybe we'll have a boring race. I don't know, but it's a cool track. It's fun to drive and yeah, lots of good opportunity to overtake and race other people. So yeah, good place to go racing.
Lance, you've obviously had a podium here in the past. Is it a place that holds fond memories for you?
Absolutely. Very memorable day. Being on the podium was extremely special. Yeah, Kevin said it every year here. There's this opportunity. The races are pretty chaotic, especially the last 4 or 5 laps. I mean, the last year with the safety car restarts, there's always positions up for grabs. So we'll see what this year has to offer.
And Nico, you obviously haven't had the results at this venue, but do you enjoy the challenge of racing here?
I do. Yeah, it's a spectacular track. It's super fast. You know, it's massively challenging. A little bit crazy as well, in a positive sense. Racing's good, you know, with all the towing that's going on. Obviously, into turn 1 is your best shot, but the scenery, the setting, just makes for good racing, and it's pretty entertaining from inside the car as well here.
And Antonio, moving on to you, this will be your first time racing in Formula 1 here, but you had a double win in what was GP2 in 2016. So how excited are you to get out there in an F1 car?
Yeah, it will be my first time in F1, but like you say, I have a good memories here. And back in 2016, took my first pole in GP2 and then double win for the races. So yeah, looking forward. I know it's a difficult race. Like Kevin said, a lot of safety car and a lot of things during the races. So yeah, looking forward to race here in F1.
And we'll stay with you, Antonio. Fred Vasseur, your team principal, said he felt the team let you down in China, and you've had 3 difficult races to start the season. Do you feel so far you haven't been able to show your true potential this year?
You know, I think we are only in the beginning of the race. We are the team, and like the team is believing me, I believe in the team, and you know, we need to just keep working, and I'm sure that the result will come.
Thank you. And Nico, if we look at things from a Renault perspective, you've had a couple of DNFs which you've said are frustrating, but is it more a feeling of frustration at those results or encouragement at the pace that the car has shown?
Yeah, a bit of both, to be honest. Obviously, yeah, to have the hiccups and the DNFs is not great, especially, you know, in the early part of the season. It's good to get points under your belt, you know, and just, yeah, get them on your account. But on the good side, the pace has been there. Every track that we've been to, at least, you know, both or one car has been, you know, really in good positions and managed to score decent points. So we feel we have a strong baseline. Obviously, the midfield is still very, very tight, and the top 3 still seem well ahead. So yeah, it's about maintaining that, you know, keeping momentum and make sure we make the car faster week by week.
Thank you. And Lance, moving on to you, Racing Point, or Force India as it was, has traditionally developed its car very well and come on strong during the season. So what's the atmosphere like in the team at the moment as you look to chase the likes of Renault and Haas?
Yeah, that's the goal. You know, it's a development race all the way to the end of the season. The midfield's very tight. It's not a secret. You know, every 10th counts at the moment. So that will be the focus. You know, for the rest of the season is to develop the car. You know, try and pick up as many points as we can over the course of the year.
Thank you. And Kevin, returning to you, Haas has shown some great pace in qualifying but struggled in races, and Gunther Steiner seems a bit pessimistic about chances this weekend. Are you a bit more optimistic that you can be fighting for points here?
I would say you always go into the weekend hopeful and kind of positive, looking forward to it. Theoretically, it's not a track that will, in theory, help our issues. Or at least the issues that we think we have. But again, we've scored points here with the slow car, and I don't think we have a slow car this weekend. We have a fast car. It's just you know, we've had both cars in Q3 all of the 3 races this year, and then we've been kind of like the second slowest team in the race, almost in all 3 races also. So there's clearly an issue there that we need to fix. I think, and I hope and think that it will just be a matter of time until we find that problem.
Antonio, you mentioned during winter testing that you're going to drive as much as possible like Kimi's driving style in order to help the engineers with setup and development direction. Do you think that did any damage to your performance in terms of you not being able to follow your natural instincts?
I don't think so. I think in Melbourne we were fast, and then I just had the issue in the race with the crash on the turn 1. Then in Bahrain I was like just half 10 from Kimi, and in China it was just a difficult weekend. But so far I think it's not the main issue, I would say. And of course Kimi have a different driving style from my one, but to be honest we are quite on the same way, and so far we will keep working on that, and I'm sure when the luck is also from our side, the result will come.
Kevin, there seems to have been the suggestion that already there are some fixes in place for your problem of tire warm-up on the car in Baku. Can you elaborate what those fixes are, and do you expect a real tangible impact from them here already?
Well, we can't say there's been a fix. We know we've changed stuff and tried to come up with some things that could be the fix, but it's not like, I think it's one of those things that you try and figure out what is the problem and why it's happening, and then after that you find solutions. So I think we're still in the process of kind of still understanding what exactly is the problem, and then after that we need to find a fix. So yeah, we have come here with some things that we hope can help the situation, but we will see how it goes.
Question for Nico. We've seen you adopted a puppy on your social media. You posted it. Is that kind of a mascot because of all the bad luck you had in the last races?
Well, I think you want me to say yes, but not really. It's just one of those things that, been a dog fan for a long, long time, and now felt it was the time to finally get one. So, not adopted, but kind of just got it, yeah.
Welcome back after the holidays, gentlemen. And Alex, if we could start with you, please. Many congratulations. New colours for you this weekend. Just how much of a surprise was it for you to get the call up this weekend?
Starting the summer break, kind of came into it expecting a bit of a relaxing time, and then the first day kind of the summer break got told the news. So had a lot of time to think about it. And obviously in F1 with the summer break, you can't really speak to anyone. So there was a lot of time there where I was just like, okay, who do I speak to? What can I do? And first time really speaking to everyone was on Monday. So kind of catching up right now and trying to know all the team, and that's about it. Really just see how the weekend goes. I mean, we're starting at the back anyway. Just take it step by step. Obviously, it's a new environment around, so just trying to understand really how the team work, how the car works. Listen to Max as well, kind of just see how he interacts with the team and kind of learn from that.
Well, I knew before. They told me when I was on the simulator before holiday, so for me it was not a surprise. But I mean, I've been there before myself. Alex is a great guy. I know him already for a long time, a bit like Pierre. We raced against each other all together in 2010. He's a fast guy. So, and as you can hear, he's very excited. So that's always good. I think in general it will be a bit tougher for us because of the long straights. But even in Silverstone, for example, we were still competitive. So we just need to find a good balance in the car. Of course, around here, Sector 1 and 3, of course, are pretty much flat out. And in Sector 2 are a lot of corners. So you have to find the right compromise there.
Checo, a lot of talk about contracts coming into this weekend. What news about your whereabouts for 2020?
I'm confident. I hope that soon we can announce it and just get on with it.
Announce with Racing Point?
Well, what my plans are. I think I'm very, very close to find out what I'm going to do for next year. So it shouldn't be long before I know.
The team certainly has a good record here at Spa-Francorchamps.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's a good place for us. We've been strong in the past, so I see no reason why we cannot be strong this weekend. The margin in the midfields are very, very small, so yeah, a little improvement, it can put us back in contention to be the fourth fastest here. I think we aiming to finish the season on a high. It's been a struggle all the way up to now, but margins are small. We are improving, so hopefully we can finish the season with the fourth fastest car.
George, I've asked almost everybody else about 2020. What are your plans?
Hopefully in Formula One, I guess. No, I'll be racing with Williams next year, so I think when I signed the deal, that was a multi-year deal with Williams, so I guess it's just waiting to formally announce everything. This circuit and also Monza next week is really not going to suit our car. Unfortunately, we don't have much downforce, but we also have a hell of a lot of drag, so we're going to struggle on these long straights. But the season's been full of surprises, and we'll see what we can do.
Valtteri, some very positive news for you this morning. You're staying with Mercedes for another year. When were you told? And please give us your reaction.
Yeah, thank you. For sure, that's always good news when you get things confirmed for next year, and it's definitely all what I wanted, because I believe the team will be strong for sure for the rest of the year, but also next year. I think it was last weekend we signed and paperworks were done. So yeah, had to kind of wait a bit till then. But I still had a good break and lots of fun and everything. But yeah, I'm happy now. It was very openly spoken, the whole situation between me and Esteban. And yeah, so I had to wait until last weekend. For sure, I was thinking about it, other options, just in case, because obviously you'd never in this sport want to be left between two chairs. So for sure, I was trying to make a plan for something else, but then things started to go the right way, and then I saw that it's just better to commit.
And Valtteri, has Lewis Hamilton said anything to you about your contract renewal?
Yeah, he sent me a message actually when it was all confirmed, when he heard about it. So yeah, I think we so far we made a good team, and I believe we're going to make a good team in the future as well.
Max, how much do you think you can really have a go at Lewis now over these last 9 races? How high have you set your ambitions and realities?
I think it's just going to be a bit track dependent for us, where we are going to be more competitive. I'm expecting this to be a bit more tricky, and especially Monza, but from there onwards, also with upgrades coming to the car. Of course, everybody's doing that, but I think in the recent years we've always been quite strong in developing the car throughout the year. We'll have a few tracks where I think we can have a good go, but for the championship, I don't think so. But like I said, I always try to get the best out of it every single race weekend, and then we'll find out where we'll end up at the end.
I think Ferrari can be really, really good here, as we've seen with the straight line performance. There's super long straights here, and Red Bull been improving in all kind of tracks. So it's not going to be an easy weekend for us for sure, and we are not standing still. We've got some new parts in the car. I think also power unit. So yeah, that should be quite interesting to see how the car feels again here, and how's the engine. My goal definitely for the second half is to be as strong as I ever can. Try to be on my best level, and I know what I can do if I get there. But how to get there, that's the tricky part in this sport. But obviously the goal is to, and I have the belief that I can be strong for the rest of the year.
Alex, teammates now, but when did you first race, Max?
2010, wasn't
Yeah.
it? We did the European and World Championships together. We had a few crashes together. Do you know?
Touches, yeah.
But we had a good rivalry going. Max was the young guy. I was the experienced one, which is a bit weird. I mean, I'm older than Max, but he's a bit more experienced than me in F1. So we started like that. We had some good races. The way I see it is, it's an opportunity. Doubting myself, not really, no. I mean, you have to go into it as confident as you can. I kind of know how I am. I know it is I've only done 6 months in a Formula 1 car, so there is definitely room for improvement. And I know that. I think when I look back at how I was in Melbourne and how I am now, I've definitely improved as a driver. So I know that kind of progress is only going to continue. And of course, jumping into a car this early, I do feel like, in a way, you would wish it happened a bit later. But no, I'm still very excited, and I can't wait to get started.
You got your first World Championship point in Austria a couple of weeks ago. How did that feel, and how confident are you of maintaining that run of form here?
Yeah, it cost me a little bit on my hair, but yeah, it was for good reason, I would say. It was actually a different bet with Fred, because I was starting already in Paul Ricard, and he said, if you score your first point, I will cut your hair. And then didn't happen. And then in Austria, we say, so if I don't score point, you will cut my hair. But I score point, so it was a little bit of a mess. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. And yeah, it was a great weekend so far for me, for the team. You know, we went to Q3 with both for cars, and also top 10 for me and Kimi. So yeah, we need to just keep working like that. And I think you know, we had a really good car since Paul Ricard, and now here we have another upgrade. So I hope on the good direction, and I hope we can you know, stay there and fighting and take a little bit of the gap from McLaren.
Daniel, coming to you now. Tricky race for you and the team in Austria. What conclusions have you drawn since then?
It wasn't a fun one for us, really. So yeah, we obviously got pretty deep into it after and tried to figure out why we were off the pace really all weekend. Definitely feel we learned some things with setup, and I think we kind of just started in a direction which we kind of kept pursuing from Friday, thinking it was the right way to go. But yeah, I think in hindsight it wasn't. So it's probably more just a setup kind of misdirection we kind of went for, as opposed to anything crazy we found on the car. I was hoping to find, a cracked chassis or, you know, something like that. But yeah, I think the car does have a little bit of a sweet spot, and I think we had worked towards that the last few weekends, getting those Q3s and building that kind of confidence within myself and that momentum. But yeah, we kind of shifted a little bit away from that in Austria, and for reasons which seemed to make sense at the time from a setup point of view and all that. But yeah, I think that we kind of moved away from something we'd got to know. So yeah, we'll try and bring it back this weekend for Silverstone.
Many congratulations on your new McLaren deal for 2020. Just how exciting is that news, and what do you feel you and the team can achieve over the next 18 months?
Thank you very much. I'm very excited, I guess. It's just good news. You know, things have been going reasonably well lately, so to have that news is just a bonus. And of course, knowing I'm going to be here next year makes it a bit more comforting overall. But yeah, it doesn't change too much in hindsight. So yeah, looking ahead to the next 2 years, let's say, there's a lot of progress we got to make. I'm going to be racing this guy on my right a bit more over the next couple of years, and not just myself, but as a team, that's our goal. So that's what we're trying to work towards. It's what we're slowly chipping away at.
George, coming on to you. You finished ahead of Kevin Magnussen in Austria last time out, so it seems the car is really starting to make progress now. How confident are you of another strong showing this weekend?
Yeah, I think it's a step-by-step process for us at the moment. You know, the team had two very difficult years, or a very difficult year last year, sorry. And, you know, they wanted to change a lot of the structure, and it was almost, we had to make 2 steps back before we started to make the 3 steps forward. So, you know, the groundworks are kind of really in place at the moment for us to try and bring more performance to the car as the season progresses. And I've got confidence we can do that. But, you know, the fact is this weekend, it's going to be another difficult weekend for us, and we just got to do our maximum week in, week out. But certainly, it was nice to be racing someone other than just Robert in Austria.
Well, as you say, Austria was, in effect, the first time you guys have tripped up this year, with Valtteri finishing 3rd, yourself 5th. Are you confident that that was a one-off, or have you got concerns coming into this weekend?
I wouldn't say that I necessarily have concerns. I mean, I don't approach weekends with that. That's already a negative connotation to start with. But no, I think we're fully aware that the Ferraris and the Red Bulls have taken a step forward. And the pace that they had in the last race was great. I think it looked a lot better than I think if we didn't have the issues we had, we would have been a lot closer, would have been more in the fight. So I expect this weekend it will be closer between us all. And last year Ferrari was super fast here as well, so as were the Red Bulls. I think the Red Bulls were a little bit down, but now they've got the new engine. I think they'll be even quicker. So it's definitely not going to be an easy weekend.
Last year, Silverstone was resurfaced. It was slightly controversial. Not all of the drivers were happy with it. It's been resurfaced again for this year, and there's also a little bit more gravel about the place in a couple of areas. This has always been described as a driver's track. How interested are you to go out and see what changes the changes have made?
Yeah, I was trying to get out there today, so I will at some point. Probably just on a bike, a bit quicker. But yeah, it was pretty bumpy last year. But I think at Red Bull we had one of the smoother riding cars. But I know a lot of others did say it was pretty bad. So yeah, we'll definitely have a look. I don't normally do like track walks or anything, but if there is a change, then yeah, it's worth seeing. So yeah, have a browse.
Thank you.
Same but different.
Different but the same.
Lewis, Christian Horner raised a few eyebrows earlier this week by suggesting that if you and Max were in the same machinery, he at the moment would back Max to prevail. Given you've won 6 of 9 races already this year, that seemed a fairly bold claim on his part. I just wondered your response to that and your view more broadly on how you and Max measure up as racers.
Well, firstly, I don't compare myself to anybody, so don't need to. And I don't really have a response to his claims. Ultimately, every now and then, someone needs certain attention, and that's yeah. I think Max has been doing a great job.
92, talk about Mansell Mania, and the crowd's coming in to see him. We've got a similar situation. Silverstone's going to be absolutely sold out on Sunday, partly to come and see you with all the success you're having. Now, there's no question about the support that you have with F1 fans. They all adore you and think you're great for what you're doing and the titles you're winning. You've also struggled sometimes to win over some of the other British public, non-F1 fans. Can you put your finger on that at all? Any reason why you don't have the same universal adulation as Nigel Mansell had, say?
I don't really, I don't know. I don't really generally feel that, but I mean, people have the right to choose who they support, and what I can say is I remember growing up in Stevenage. I never in a million years thought that I'd have a single supporter, besides my mum, and my dad. So, I feel really privileged in just even having one. But I've got quite a lot of people that come here, and I'm so grateful just for that, which is more than enough for me. So, the more the merrier. I guess the more and more time I spend here, I guess you have more and more opportunity to turn people's opinions, and yeah. But ultimately, as I said, I'm grateful for what I do have.
Maybe it's the moustache.
The moustache?
Yeah.
What, the fact that I can't really grow much?
Well, I can't do much better either, but Mansell's one was right.
Pubes yet?
Man's had a good moustache. It might be that I'm not able to grow. This is like as far as it goes. So, and he had good eyebrows as well. So, maybe one weekend I'll try sticking them on and see if it makes a difference.
I'd like to start this press conference by asking each of the drivers present for their thoughts and memories of Charlie. Lewis, could we start with you, please?
I've known Charlie since I started in 2007, and yeah, I mean, I made some comments this morning on my Instagram. May have not worked because I think it's down, but obviously incredibly shocked this morning to hear the sad news, and my thoughts and prayers are with him and his family, and what he did for this sport. I mean, his commitment. He really was a pillar, as Toto said. Such an iconic figure within the sporting world, and he contributed so much to us. So may he rest in peace.
I spoke to him yesterday, and yeah, walked the track for the first couple of corners together with him. So difficult to grasp when somebody's just not there anymore. Yeah, I think to add on what Lewis said, obviously known him for a long time, and he's been sort of our man, the driver's man. You know, obviously there's the regulations and all that, and then there's us, and he was the middleman. He was you know, someone you could ask anything at any time. He was open to everyone. At any time, his door was always open, and.
I saw Sebastian walking with Charlie yesterday, and I thought I will not interrupt them because I will see him on Friday on the driver's briefing. Unfortunately, this will not be a case, and it's very sad.
I spent like the day with him in Geneva a few weeks ago, and we had a good chat just about a lot of things. And yeah, you know, when I left at the time, you know, I was like, see you in Australia, just for another season of racing. And then of course when you hear this news, it's unbelievable. Just 66 years old, so I guess we just have to appreciate, you know, every day and every morning you wake up, and that you enjoy life, and that it's not only about Formula One, but there are a lot of other things in life, you know. So this is just one part of it.
I'll try and make it, you know, slightly more positive. And he was, as Seb said, you know, he was there for us, and we gave him a lot of, we gave him a hard time. You know, we would really press him and push him and make him work. But he was always really receptive and very, yeah, you always felt like he was on our side. And just, we would, I guess, like a broken record, a lot of things we would probably complain about, and he never really shut it down. He was always ears open, and yeah, I think he did a lot for the sport. So we'll have some obviously very, very, very nice and positive memories of him.
Thank you, Daniel. Robert, coming to you. It's your first race since 2010. Just can you describe your emotions heading into this weekend?
Yeah, it has been a long time away of the sport. Emotions, to be honest, there are not really a lot of time to think about them, and you are focused on the job, focused on the things to do, try to learn as much as you can about new F1. The things has changed quite a lot since I was racing here last time. So yeah, just trying to prepare, trying to be ready. We didn't have a perfect start of winter testing, so there are a lot of things to be checked to see how they will be, and yeah, let's see.
Max, coming to you. The management at Red Bull Racing has been very bullish about the new package. What are your thoughts?
Well, I guess we'll find out, don't we? But I think so far, yeah, we had a good winter test. Not too many issues, and I was just very happy about how everybody was working together, which I think is also very important and a good start. Of course, you know, integrating the new engine into the chassis, but didn't seem like it was giving us problems. So very happy about that. I could do most of my running, so that was very positive. But in terms of performance, I think it's a bit difficult to judge at the moment where we exactly are.
Sebastian, coming to you. Fastest in winter testing. Do you feel you're in a better position now than you were at this time last year?
Yeah. Well, quite frankly, because I think last year's winter testing didn't go well for us. And we actually had some issues with the car to fix, and obviously we got a bit lucky during the race weekend with the safety car to grab the win. But yeah, I think in this regard we are more prepared. Our car seems to work fine. There are no problems at this stage. But having said that, obviously we can't do better than last year's results. So it's a tough weekend ahead of us. Always the start, you're a bit nervous. You don't know exactly where you are. You don't know what's going to happen. But yeah, I think we are. You know, the spirit is good. The atmosphere is good. We're happy to be here and start racing.
Lewis, coming to you. Thank you for waiting. From an internal point of view, how important has continuity been, both stability on the driving front and the technical front?
On the driver front, I think continuity, with what works. We have a great pairing, and the contribution from Valtteri and I think together works. It's worked well for years, and there's no reason to change it. It's not, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And in terms of the team, we've got so many incredible people within the team, and the energy is really, really it's inspiring to see so many people so pumped, pulling together. The communication's better than ever. Just after the test, I went back and, they Toto rallied the troops and we all sat together, and it's really impressive to see so many people so passionate about their jobs and so passionate about racing and wanting to do a better job and always wanting to improve and knowing where they can improve. It's really cool to see, really encouraging. So I just know they're the soldiers, they're the real true fighters within the team, and know that they're going to be giving absolutely everything to make sure that we continue to progress.
A question for Mr. Crocodile Dandil.
So make sure you don't take your knife with you. I get rusty.
That's all right. It's Aussie accent.
When Crocodile Dundee, when you say that's not a knife. That's a knife.
When foreigners try to do an Aussie accent, I notice they really open their mouth a lot. Like, that's not a knife. He tried. Bless him.
So how do you do it then? Go on.
It's not a knife. I'll show you later.
It sounded more spectacular when Crocodile Dundee did it, though.
Yeah. I've been living in Europe.
Lance, if we can start with you, please. It's both yours and the team's home race. Just describe how that feels.
Well, it's obviously a very special weekend. It's good to be back home. Don't get to come back often, so yeah, the week leading up to the race has been great. Catching up with friends, family. Yeah, I enjoyed my time playing hockey with the Montreal Canadiens yesterday. That was fun, and now back to business.
And I think you've got your own grandstand this weekend. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, in the hairpin, like last year. So yeah, it'll be very special. Yeah, my installation lap tomorrow. All the Canadian flags and the grandstands. It's yeah, one of the best weekends on the calendar, and definitely yeah, the highlight of my season.
Well, let's hope Sunday's race lasts longer for you than it did last year. Tell us about the car's potential here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. What do you think you can achieve?
Yeah, I mean, historically, it's been a track that's suited our car. I mean, of course, it's a new year, and the competition in the midfield is very tight. But I think there's opportunity for us this weekend. It's been yeah, challenging couple events in Spain and in Monaco, not managing to score points. But we're looking to turn that around this weekend.
You say it's getting better and better. Would you say your own performance is getting better and better? Are we seeing the best Kvyat we've ever seen in Formula One at the minute?
Perhaps, yes. I mean, I wanted to come back to F1 as an improved version of myself, and I think I'm managing to do that so far, and hopefully that will be getting again better and better. So.
And you're equaling a bit of a record this weekend with your former teammate Jean-Eric Vergne. You are starting your 58th race for Toro Rosso, which is a record, and you're only 25. How does that feel, and how has the team evolved in that time as well?
It made me feel very old now, so I'm. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with where the team is going. To be honest, I saw a lot of things in Toro Rosso. Now I think I'm happy with the team around me, and I'm quite happy there. And the guys are doing a very good job this year. I think improving many things that in the past maybe was holding this team back. And I'm happy to contribute to help the team to improve these things.
Lando, if we could come on to you. Your first time here in Montreal, what are you expecting from this racetrack? Walls are pretty close.
I think it's pretty difficult to say. I've obviously done my share of sim work and preparation, and seen some onboards and whatever. So just what the usual is, but it's an exciting one from what I've seen in the past. It looks a fun track. It's a fun track to drive, although it's pretty tricky. So yeah, I'm just looking to have fun. Hopefully some racing on Sunday, and yeah, I guess our aim for the whole weekend is from before we can go into the more details, let's say, is to get into Q3 and have a points finish. But the midfield is very tight, like Lance said, so it's going to be tough. We just need to make sure we're the front of that, and yeah, just give it our best.
And the intra-team battle between you and Carlos is proving pretty tight this year, just 6 points between you. How's the working relationship between the two of you?
It's going pretty well, actually. I mean, I've had teammates, and you have teammates in other categories, but it's always different when you get to Formula One. A lot of people, I don't know, people try and make it a lot more of a fierce battle between teammates, and a lot of media and everything always look into that kind of thing. But we're having good fun. We get along very well. You know, we're friends away from the track, and we've had a lot of fun so far this season. There's been no conflict. There's not been any points so far where we've had different decisions or different opinions on different things. We've gelled pretty well, and I think that's, for the team anyway, has been very positive. We have similar comments, still have different feelings and prefer different things on the car, but we work together, which also helps the team improve, go in a similar direction, and that's very, or it is a positive thing. Looking ahead to the future, trying to improve the car and become a better team. So, yeah, it's been good fun. I'm sure it's going to improve and help things going forward.
Kimi, coming on to you, we've heard about the performance of the McLaren. Tell us a little bit about the Alfa Romeo. The season started very well for you guys, but it appears to have dropped off in the last couple of races. Why do you think that is?
Hopefully we are back here a bit, let's say, a bit more normal position, but we're only going to find out over the weekend, so we'll see. But nothing major wrong. It's just that we lack speed. So.
Now, it's Lando's first time here this weekend. Didn't go so badly for you back in 2001, your first time here. You finished fourth for Sauber. Can you just tell us a little bit about the track, highlights from a driver's point of view?
I mean, it's quite tricky track in the end, because obviously it's kind of not really street circuit, but very narrow places on the exits of the chicanes. So, you know, if you get it wrong, you have to push over the curbs, and if the car is not great over the curbs, it's easy to touch the wall. So, plus, a lot of brakings that has to be right. But I mean, it's not awful many corners, but it's not the easiest place to go fast.
Okay, well, Kimi, good luck this weekend. Thanks for your time. Lewis, thank you for waiting. Coming on to you now. Well, fourth for Kimi on his first visit here in 2001, and of course, you won your first ever Grand Prix here back in 2007. Can you just tell us what it's like to come back to Montreal, a track where you've had so much success, and what you're looking forward to this weekend?
I was just wondering, how old are you? 19. Shoot. No, I love coming out to Montreal, and the weather's often great here. The circuit is fantastic, and it's a track that I think everyone really enjoys. It's definitely in the top 3 of the favorite circuits of the year, and I think the city makes that mostly a big part of that, because the city is very vibrant, the people are super welcoming, great food, and we, even just today, you see the whole bridge is covered with fans, so you already know that you have a massive turnout for this race, and from a driver's perspective, the track is awesome. It's a bit go-kart-esque, with great long straights, so you can overtake, and you're throwing the car over these big, huge curves around the track, and there's not massive runoff areas, so it's a bit of a high-speed street circuit, which is great.
Why do you think you excel here?
Well, I don't think I've really excelled for a while here, if I'm really honest. When I was at McLaren, it worked quite well. I think our car was quite nimble back then, and worked really well here. I don't think I've been massively successful here as far as I remember, but of the recent years. But it's been a bit harder with the hybrid era, especially since we've had a longer car since 2017. So it's a little bit harder to get turned around some of these corners. But our car is a lot better this year in the slower speed, medium speed corners. So I anticipate this weekend we will be stronger than we have been in the past. But being that you do have these long straights, you know that the Red Bulls and the Ferraris, I think, particularly will be really strong this weekend. So.
Alex, frustrating race for you last time out at Silverstone with an electrical fault. Can you tell us about that problem? And without it, would a points finish have been possible?
Yeah, it was a bit frustrating. Basically, yeah, car was live, so we couldn't really touch the car. I think the mechanics would have been a bit electrified if they did, so we had to stay out on track. And it was frustrating, but it's hard to say if I think we should have finished kind of where we were before we had the issue. So I think we were running about 8th around there. And of course it was just points missed. So that was a frustrating weekend because we had 2 tough weekends before that. And that was kind of the time when Silverstone, we were back on track and opportunities to score some good points. And I mean, fortunately Danny did, so it wasn't too bad at the end of the day.
Nico, you're 21 points behind McLaren in the Constructors' Championship now. Do you think that's a fair reflection of the relative performances of the 2 teams?
Well, it is. That's a fact. It is 21 points, but I think we probably, we could be right up there with them if you add up all the complications we had, all the missed kind of results, problems. So we should be thereabouts, but for sure McLaren look very strong at the moment and are probably one of our main competitors that we'll be battling with from here towards the end.
Okay, thanks Nico, good luck this weekend. Carlos, coming to you now, just to ask you about that battle with the Works Renault team. When you came into this season, did you expect to be ahead of them at this point?
No, I think the right answer is no. I wouldn't expect to be in front of Renault. There was a good trend going last year only in Renault, and I think we finished off the season quite strongly, but McLaren was at that time in Abu Dhabi more than half a second behind in qualifying, pretty much in every qualifying, and then in the race also it was difficult to match or to see Fernando and Stoffel battling more at the back than compared to Nico and me, so it was very difficult to predict that at this stage this year we would be in front. I don't think we are in front. I think we are in front in the championship, but we are very equal in performance, and it makes the battle good fun, like it was in Silverstone, in Austria, in France, and we are happy to be battling with a team like Renault, and I think just the objective of us too is just to keep moving forward, both together, towards the top. Not look too much to what Renault is doing, but keep looking forward, keep looking to Mercedes, keep looking to Red Bull, Ferrari, and try to cut that gap down.
Kimi, coming on to you. You've scored in 7 of the 10 races so far this year, including the last 3. Is that the level of performance and consistency that you expected from Alfa Romeo when you joined them?
Hard to say, because obviously where they've been, let's say, last few years, it's not been the greatest. Last year they made, let's say, good gains from halfway through. So very unknown. So we just went in the season to try to do the maximum, see what we get, and we had a bit harder part and 3-4 races that we went all very fast. So, but we managed to recover from that at least a bit, and still a long way to go. But I think it's not been too bad, at least in their own books. So, we keep trying and try to make the car faster.
Sebastian, thanks for waiting. Coming on to you now. Let's start by talking about the car. You've told us in the past that it's tricky to drive. Can you tell us why it's so hard to find the sweet spot of the SF90?
Well, I think we had occasions where things were looking very good, and other occasions maybe where it was a bit more difficult. But I think that's also pretty normal. Throughout the season, you have different tracks with different characteristics, and sometimes the car feels more the way you like, and other times less. But I think we have, after the first couple of races, I think we're able to get quite a good picture of, what was missing compared to the performance we seem to have at the beginning of winter testing. And with that, I think we've made progress. Obviously, we're not where we would like to be, not as competitive as we would like to be, but I think overall the understanding and the direction is going in the right way.
You say you're not as competitive as you want to be. Well, Red Bull have taken a step forward in recent weeks. So how do you see the pecking order at the front of Formula One now?
Well, I think obviously Mercedes does have an edge on everyone else. That's, I think, pretty clear. Similar to previous years, they seem to struggle on tracks where tire wear and degradation is a bit higher, like we've maybe seen the last part of the race in France or in Austria. But in terms of raw speed, they are the benchmark. And I think for myself and for us, that's the benchmark. I think obviously between ourselves and Red Bull, it's been sometimes closer, sometimes we were ahead. Most of the times I believe we were ahead, sometimes we were behind, but that's not the objective. The objective is to fight for wins, and to do so at the moment you need to be level or better than Mercedes.
Question to Sebastian. How badly do you want to win on Sunday, and how badly do you need to win on Sunday?
Not badly. I mean, obviously I want to win, that's for sure. But as I said, I think I'm also realistic. So coming here, I don't feel as we are the favorites, but I feel we have a chance. I always feel that. For me, that's the point of going racing. You have a chance to do well. So that's the objective, and we will find out during the weekend. But certainly, it's a special place to me. It's very close to where I'm from. It's a lot of family around and friends close by. So yeah, to find a good way to celebrate, I wouldn't need to go very far. So that would be quite handy.
You said in the past that you struggle when you're not feeling the car. Can you tell us, are you feeling this car? And if not, is it compounding the weaknesses that it already has?
Well, I think it's not, as I tried to explain earlier, so I think it's normal that sometimes you feel more comfortable and sometimes less. I think for us it was important after the first couple of races to understand what brings this inconsistency, where the strength of the initial feeling with this car has gone, and why we're not able to repeat it the way we'd like. But I think we do have a very good understanding by now. I think we are trying a lot of things to obviously make it better, to find the direction. I think some things that we tried were very good, other things we went back on.
Carlos, this is half of the season, and that's the moment. What's the secret to be the best of the rest?
At the moment, there's no secret, and if I find it, I will obviously keep it secret. But no, I think it's a combination. I think it's a combination of hard work done by the team and creating a package good enough to do what we are doing on race day. It's a combination of good strategies come Sunday. It's a combination of good starts, good pace when you need to have good pace, and good development. I think it's nowadays the midfield battle is so tight that you need to be on top of everything and be very good at everything. And I think this year we've been very good at mostly everything, and that's why we are leading in that battle.
To Sebastian and to Kimi, do you ever miss each other as teammates? And can you say what the best qualities were about each other as a teammate?
Kimi, let's start with you.
The meetings are a lot shorter now, when we are not in the same meeting anymore, or in the same team. So, no, I mean, we see each other still. So, I enjoyed for sure. It was very good. But I think we were friends before, and it never changed, and it's still the same. So life goes on, and hopefully they pick up a bit speed and do well. So I think it's always been very honest, so it's easy going.
His best qualities?
Straightforward, honest.
Okay, Sebastian. On Kimi?
I can only return. Obviously now the meetings are not as short as they were, which is a pity. But I think as Kimi said, we've sort of got on with each other before, had respect for each other, and it's the same now. So, best qualities, straightforward.
You're now Ferrari's youngest ever winner in Formula One. How do you reflect on that achievement now, a week later?
Well, obviously it was a very tough weekend for different reasons. Obviously with what happened on Saturday, but also we knew that with the performance we had in the race, it was going to be difficult because Mercedes was very, very strong with their race pace. So it was it was a tough weekend, but at the end we managed to put everything together. I think there was a great teamwork between myself and especially Seb that did the job keeping Lewis behind for a few laps that have been very helpful for me towards the end of the race. So yeah, looking back, obviously I am very happy that this first win is done. It's always difficult to do this first step, but once you do it, it takes quite a bit of weight out of your shoulders, and that's of that I'm very proud. But now, not much time to obviously think about it because we are already here, only 4 days later here in Italy, and we need to focus fully on the job that we have to do here.
Antonio, you won the GP2 feature race back in 2016, which was a big moment in your career then. Can you just compare your emotions now coming into this race, your first Italian Grand Prix?
Yeah, it's incredible, I would say. You know, this was one of the Grand Prix I always watched when I was young. Of course, supporting Ferrari. And yeah, back in 2016 was one of the best races of that season of my career as well. I was, starting from Pilas, and I won the race in front of all the tifosi, my friends, and my family. So it was a really great memory. And I'm here in F1. Looking forward. I have a lot of people coming here to support me, and I hope to have a good result. And and just enjoy my first weekend here in Italy.
Pierre, coming to you, it's been a very eventful month for you. Can you just describe how you were able to reset ahead of the race at Spa last week and get that great result?
Yeah, for sure, it's quite challenging times for me at the moment that I'm facing, but I think coming into Spa, they were for sure really busy and intense days to get on top of all the new things with Toro Rosso and being back with the team. Also, new crew around my car was just really intense ahead of the weekend. So, try to extract the best and deliver the best performance straight away. So, that's what we try to do. And yeah, I think it's just now I know I have 8 more races coming with Toro Rosso. I'm just trying to focus on myself, improve myself, and to deliver the best performance I can for the team. So. For sure, what's happened in Spa was was really tough before the race on Sunday, and difficult to keep the focus, especially in this kind of moment. I think it's really tricky for everyone, but was tough mentally, and it was important to deliver the best race I could for the team, for Antoine, and I think we can be really happy with the 2 points we score for our first race back together.
Nico, if I could come on to you, please. On the face of it, last weekend's announcement about Esteban Ocon moving to Renault next year leaves your future uncertain. The 2020 grid still seems quite fluid. Are your plans taking shape?
Not concrete yet, but there is definitely obviously talks going on. I think it'll still be a while. Like I said last week, the situation is what it is now, but it needs to be the right deal, a good sporting perspective, and I'm in no urgency or hurry, to sign anything, just to have signed anything. So I think there's options out there, but nothing to talk about right now.
Sebastian, how do you think it's going to play out here?
Well, I can't predict, but I think it should be. Obviously, it's a similar track. I mean, very different, but in terms of the way the cars are set up, similar to last weekend. So I hope we can be as competitive as we were there. In relative, it's difficult to say. For sure, we've seen the trend, and in qualifying, we seem, have a bit of an edge on these type of tracks, whereas in the race everything moves very close together. And as Charles said, they were very quick last weekend, so I expect the main challenge to be looking after the tires, finding the right setup, the right balance in the car to feel comfortable to extract the maximum. So yeah, I can't give any predictions, but I guess it will be very tight. I hope that we have something to say. Obviously, Mercedes has been in a position to win nearly every race this weekend. For us, it hasn't been like that, so the more chances we get, the better it is for us.
Sebastian, does this race offer you your best realistic chance of ending your drought, if we could call it that, 12 months now since your last win? So just wondered, is it, must it be this weekend?
I don't think so. I think I have lots of races ahead, but I'm not looking to, I don't know, where I'm in 10 races time. Obviously, this is the weekend I'm focused on, and yeah, as I said, we're not the clear favorites. Obviously, there's signs that we are aware of and put us in a good position, but I think we have to be carefully optimistic and realistic. There's a lot of elements during a Grand Prix that can make a difference. So one lap is one thing, but then obviously there's a lot of laps on Sunday. So yeah, plus the weather, plus. So there's a lot of things, and I don't see it that way. I see it as a chance, simple as that. But then again, I think you always have a chance when you're on the grid, no matter where you start from. But surely we want to make sure we start from the front, which gives you a higher chance, and then carry that into the race.
Obviously, it was a great day in your life to win your first Formula One race, albeit laden with other emotions. But is there anything that you've done in the last few days to celebrate or bought yourself anything? And what does it feel like generally in your mind to be a Formula One winner?
No, I haven't done much to celebrate that. Hopefully I will be able to celebrate after this one. As I said earlier, there was not much time to celebrate anything. But what was the second question? Sorry.
It feels like
oh yeah. It feels. What? No.
That's what you bought.
I didn't buy anything. But
tell me you bought a boat.
No, no, that's not.
Question for Nico. You didn't have always the best of luck this season, but suddenly in Spa that seemed to change. I think Pierre locked up, Antonio crashed out, Lando did not finish. Is that something? Might that be a turning point for you in that season? And do you feel you need a turning point in order to secure a seat in 2020?
I think it always if you look across a year, it levels out with luck. Sometimes it's on your side, sometimes it's against you. In Spa, we did get lucky. We picked up kind of 2 positions for other people that were unfortunate from other people. But yeah, I believe always it does somehow across a year level out one way or another. I don't think it needs to change for me to secure a seat. I just need to do my job. I need to focus on it and extract what I can from the car and basically perform. I think then it will all be good.
Pierre, in a way, could be for you more relaxing driving for Toro Rosso than for Red Bull?
No.
No?
More relaxed.
I think as a driver, you always need to deliver the best of yourself with the car you have. So, yeah, targets are exactly the same.
So this week, motorsport lost one of its greats as 3-time world champion Niki Lauda passed away. Valtteri, you worked with Niki at Mercedes over the last few years. Just what did he mean to you?
Obviously, really shocking news to start the week. For sure, he meant a lot to me, but for every single team member of ours in the race team and at the factory, and he was a big part of Mercedes family. He was a massive motivation for everyone, for myself as well. For sure, as a driver, everything he's achieved and with the difficult career he had and all the comebacks and everything, but also as a person, it's been great, and never forget many good moments. So for sure, it's not kind of nice in terms of mindset for the weekend, but I'm sure as a team we can turn it into a strength and respect Niki with a going flat out on track and bringing good result.
Yeah, for sure. It's as Valtteri say,
shocking news. But he he wrote a big chunk of story of this sport, not only as a driver but as a person. I never had the opportunity to work with him, but definitely he was a big racer, and yeah, we'll miss all of us, him, and I think at least my personal hopes were to meet him back in the paddock, but unfortunately this will not happen, and yeah, that's unfortunately part of life.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Nicky was a legend of the sport. He achieved a lot in his career, but also after his career, he was also a very generous and funny guy as well. Of course, I've never really worked with him, but with the chats we've had and stuff, he's been a great guy, and for sure it's a big loss to Formula One. So all thoughts go out to his family right now.
Any interaction I had with him, any brief chats or just pleasantries, just a kind man. I think most of the world who follows motorsport knows him as the racer, for sure, and everything he went through, which was astonishing to say the least. But my personal moments with him was just always kind, and obviously for a few years, we were competitors, but never a bad thing to say. So. Yeah, just as the guys touched on, thinking of his family, but the legacy he leaves is pretty amazing, and for sure we remember these good things.
Well, I didn't have much chances to speak with Nicky, but the very few times I've been speaking with him, he has been extremely nice to me, and was always very disponible. Is that the right word? I don't know.
Available?
Available, yeah, sorry. Available, and also very humble for what he achieved. So yeah, I think he's a great example for the sport in general, and he will be missed a lot.
If we look ahead to this weekend now, Charles, we'll stay with you. This is your second time racing at home in Formula One, but first time in the red of Ferrari, so it must be a special weekend ahead for you.
Yeah, home Grand Prix is always a very special weekend, and even more this weekend, obviously, coming here in full red with Ferrari, with also a chance to have a very good result. So we'll push. Obviously, we've had a difficult start of the season. The low-speed corners weren't great in Barcelona, but normally Monaco is pretty different. We'll try to turn the things around. It's not going to be easy, but we'll give it everything.
After 5 races, Bahrain sort of stands out as the obvious highlight for Ferrari in terms of performance. Now that you've had a couple of tests to dig into what's holding you back at other races, does Bahrain feel like a one-off, or do you feel you have a better understanding of what's stopping you from hitting those peaks at other tracks as well?
Well, I think during testing we understand a few things. I think we gained a little bit of time, not enough. We need to keep working. We need to try and understand what's the main issue, but the engineers are working on that.
You're coming here in a difficult situation, but you've been here many times before. You won the Monaco Cup twice. You've been on a podium in Formula One twice. You've been leading Monte Carlo Rally. You won some super stages. So what are your best memories from Monte Carlo?
Well, as you said, Monaco has been always pretty good for me from a very young age. So, yeah, actually, probably first time I have been racing here was '98 in karting, and probably this was one of the great days. But definitely finishing on the podium in F1 car, in the F1 race, also stands up. So, yeah, I would say those two. But on the same time, also rally is something special. But we shouldn't be speaking about rallying here. I think there is more F1 fans and F1 journalists than rallying.
A year ago here in Monaco, I think it was the location, correct me if I'm wrong, but from your last personal mistake. With everybody speaking about you, they always say after that he became more mature. How do you see for yourself?
Well, I think not only after that, I think just in general, it's life. I'm getting older. General life experience, but yeah, sometimes you have to make mistakes to become a better driver. So this was one of them.
Max, some hair on your face.
I'm still struggling.
Question for Valtteri. You lost at the start in the last 2 pole positions as you had, and here it's clearly a place where nobody wants to lose a place at the start. Have you got to the bottom of what went wrong in Barcelona as well, and what has been done to prevent the repetition of that?
Yeah, for sure. Went through all the details and things to improve from my side and team side as usual. And yeah, we can see the cause of it. For sure, that clutch physically is out from the pool. But also there was things on the control side that in that unfortunate moment with just being on the grip limit allowed some hesitation and variation on the clutch torque. And we've done changes to prevent that. Hopefully will not happen again. And we move on.
How, after the hard start for Ferrari, how would you describe the atmosphere in the team?
I think quite calm, yeah, we are working all extremely hard. Obviously, the engineers are trying to understand and try to push the team forward, but overall I think we are all quite calm, which is needed. We obviously want to improve, so everyone is pushing very hard, as I said, but I think yeah, the most important is that the serenity in the team doesn't change, which it doesn't for now.
Well, Roman, if we could start with you, please. Many congratulations. It's just been announced that you're staying with the Haas team in 2020. Please, can you give us your reaction to this news?
Yeah, good evening. It's great, obviously great news. Happy to be with the team for fifth consecutive season. You know, we've built the story since day one, and feels like the story is not yet over. So very, very happy to carry on with the team. Obviously, this year has been a challenge, but so it's also been a good year in terms of growing up for the team and understanding what went wrong and how we can move on in the future. So yeah, looking forward to many more races in black and gold for now, but under the Haas color. The team has worked really hard and has made some good understanding this year from the drivers' feedback and from what we've seen. You know, I think it's a bit of a similar situation to 2017 to 2018, where 2017 the car was not as fast as we wanted, and then 2018 we obviously had a very competitive car. And yeah, I have got confidence that we will bounce back. To which level, you never know, but hopefully to a really good one where we can fight for some fun races.
Many congratulations, Romain. Robert, if I could come to you now. While we're on the subject of 2020, is there anything you can tell us about your future?
We are looking forward to the next year. I'm looking for different opportunities, but yeah, in order to evaluate our opportunities, I had to take decision that I will not continue more with Williams until this year. So I will stop end of the year with the team, which is yeah, a decision which I took, and yeah, this opens a bit opportunities for me for the future in different scenarios. And now I will evaluate what is possible. I think I have to first of all do what will bring me back a bit of joy of racing. Of course, this season has been very tough from performance point of view, but has been also very demanding. You know, being back in Formula 1 after a long time is not easy, and especially when you are in a difficult situation we are. But still, nevertheless, I think I have to thank the team for opportunity, and yeah, we'll see what the future will bring.
Lando, if we could come to you now. It's been a slightly frustrating period for you since the summer break. How easy has it been to shrug it off, particularly the last lap retirement at Spa?
It's not been too bad, to be honest. I think as much as I've been annoyed and disappointed, stop it.
I gave him 10 seconds. I said you'll start laughing within 10 seconds.
I don't want to. Okay. Yeah, as much as it's been annoying and disappointing, especially Spa, last lap, I was on for my best results. And at the moment, for us as a team, we haven't had the best few weekends in a row, and especially after Monza, running quite a bit in the championship. So, I mean, it's been tough for me because when you're on for such a good result, although it's a fifth and it's not a win and so on, for us and for myself, it's still a big achievement. So, a little bit annoyed, but in the end of the day, I think we've still been working hard. We've shown at points what we can do. We've struggled in other areas, but in the end of the day, it happens. It wasn't in my control,
It wasn't in my engineer's control. It was just something that happens in Formula One. So yeah, just have to move back.
Daniel, if we can come on to you. You scored your best result for Renault at Monza. Was that result the shot in the arm that you needed?
I don't like needles, so normally I don't like a shot in the arm, but it was definitely good for us. I think, it'd been a while since we got like a big result like that. I think obviously Canada was the standout in the first half of the year. I think Spa was a pretty positive weekend for us up until the start of the race, but I think we were on for a decent result there. But then to back it up in Monza and both cars to do it, it was really good. Definitely strong from the start of the weekend, and I mean, obviously it's nice as a driver to get the result, but definitely the team, for the team to get that. I think they'd been craving a strong result, from both cars as well, and to get us back in the points, or in that points battle that we're in. Obviously McLaren were running away with it. We made some good ground. So yeah, that was good. And I think I made an emphasis after the race to really kind of tip my hat to the engine guys, especially the guys in working on Renault in Viry, to get a big result like that on a power circuit. Not many would have predicted that, especially the last few years. So to come out there and do it in Monza, I think was a big pat on the back for them.
Lewis, thanks for waiting. Coming to you now. You're gunning for your 5th win here in Singapore. And after the battles with Ferrari at Spa and Monza and Red Bull prior to the summer break, how tough are you expecting this race to be?
Well, this is one of the toughest races, if not the toughest race of the year, physically and mentally. So and we come here each year. It shifts between the Ferraris, Red Bulls, and us. I think last year the Red Bulls have particularly been quick over the years, so we anticipate they're going to be strong this weekend. So, and again, have no idea whether Ferrari whether they'll be quick as they have been in the last 2 races or not. So. We're just focused on ourselves, trying to make sure we extract the most we can. We've not really performed that well, particularly over the last couple of years, but come out with not such bad results due to other circumstances. So I hope that we fare well.
Lewis, you've raced Robert the longest out of the panellists here. Just sort of the impact he's made since he's been back in Formula One. If he doesn't find another seat next year, how much will Formula One miss him?
It's definitely put me on the spot. Well, I've known Robert probably the longest, I would say, and we started racing together in go-karts, 1997 probably?
Yeah, 98.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, Robert's one of the most talented drivers that I've competed against. As I said from that beginning, I already saw the talent that he had, and naturally when he got to Formula 1, it's been a long time. Yeah,
things can change.
He's quite old now. No, it's still there when you have it. But I think what's really remarkable is the strength and determination he's shown, particularly through the incident that he had. Not a lot of people can come from those kinds of circumstances and come back and make it back into the sport and deliver against others who don't have the same situation that he's been in. So I think it's been great to have him back.
Next year, Formula One goes to Vietnam, which is not a country with a long history or tradition of motorsport. Do you feel that Formula One should continue to go and expand in new destinations like this, where they perhaps don't have a history of motorsport, or should the sport continue to focus on the traditional heartland in places like Western Europe, for example?
I think keeping the historic ones where we have the biggest following, because those are the people that really, when you go to Italy, for example, that crowd that really makes the atmosphere. If you go to the UK, for example, so we have to keep those. Losing Germany, I think, is a bit of a painful one, for example. But I think adding new circuits, I think it's good to go to new territories for sure, to expand our reach as a sport.
I mean, selfishly, it's nice to go to new destinations. It's a chance to. I think we're quite privileged to have this job and to be able to see new parts of the world. It's sometimes an excuse to go and check another place out. So, from that point of view, it's actually always exciting for me, because I know that I probably wouldn't have travelled to all these places as a holiday destination if F1 didn't take me there. So, I've discovered some pretty awesome places around the world through the calendar.